This is the start of the '05 Chrysler 300 build that we're going to be turning into a 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. A couple of guys in the US have already done this, like Steve Mirabelli and Cleveland Power and Performance. This allows me to keep the modern drivetrain and all the amenities that come along with it without having to sacrifice or even put in all the effort of swapping over modern stuff into an older chassis. And let's face it, an older chassis is kind of hard to find at a good price these days. I picked up this vehicle for $6,500 Canadian, and to pick up a good Charger is about the same price or more. The last time I checked, there was one for $12,000 without a drivetrain. I have these used lights, mirrors, side vent quarter. I found a real Charger 500 rear window, and I have this new windshield to replace. I have a Kirky 55 seat that I'll be using. It seems to fit me a little bit better than the stock seats, and I like the aluminum aspect. I find with these Dodge and Chrysler seats, they're just a little bit way too big for me. A little bit way too big. They slide. They're nice, they're heated and they're cooled and everything, but I just don't fit very well. I've already replaced the stock shift knob with this aluminum one that I made in the lathe, just to make it a little bit more consistent with the seats and everything else. And that steering wheel obviously is going to be replaced with the aluminum steering wheel later on. Probably redo the dash because as we know, the windshield ends up having to come back about 3-4 inches anyways. So I have to redo all that defrost structuring system in there and push it back a little bit. Move the wiper assembly back, move the spray nozzle assembly back so that everything functions properly. Ultimately, the actual distance from front wheel to back wheel is 120 inches, so that's 3 inches bigger than the original wheelbase. But I'm going to make that up with an 1.5 inches at the front and an 1.5 inches in the rear. And I'm going to have to recut the wheel wells anyways, just because these wheels are obviously a little bit bigger than the original wheels. I like the way the old NASCARs have a rake, so I'm going to be installing a lowering kit in the front to drop it down. I've got these Megan Racing lowering springs, some adjustable upper control arms, and then a full replacement kit for the OEM suspension components. These Mercedes chassis really aren't that strong, and they weren't really designed initially for the heavy 5.7 and up engines, so they wear out prematurely. This vehicle's got about 98,000 kilometers on it, and so it makes sense to replace that anyways, just so that I have a fresher vehicle for when I actually go and start to drive this around. I do plan on doing a 6 to 12 point cage inside of this. As we're removing all the body panels, I want to make sure that there's enough structural rigidity still there for it to be able to be driven spiritedly. I'll be doing some frame connectors on the bottom, and then anything else will kind of adjust as we need to go. My goal is to actually finish this for under $20,000 Canadian. Like I said, I already picked up the vehicle for $6,500. The lights I got for $100, which is a steal. The mirrors $100, doors for $50, glass and everything else that I have so far for less than $1,500. And so I'll be keeping a tally at the end. So hopefully this can help people keep budget down if they want to do a similar type thing, and allow them to realize that you can build a car that's fun and fast and not have to spend a crazy amount of money, and it can still be something that's worth showing to people and driving your friends around in.